My best friend saw my dad at the rehearsal dinner and blocked me afterwards. The truth behind it was worse than I imagined. Catherine wasn't just my maid of honor. She was the sister I chose. We'd been inseparable since middle school, the kind of friends who had matching tattoos and inside jokes nobody else understood. My wedding guest list was small but perfect. The biggest surprise was my father flying in from Switzerland. I hadn't seen him in 10 years since the divorce. Catherine was more excited to finally meet him than I was to see him. She had organized everything, even made a special toast about family coming together and promised she would do anything to make this day perfect for me. The rehearsal dinner was supposed to be simple, just the wedding party and immediate family at my mom's house. When Dad walked through the door, everyone went quiet for a second. 10 years was a long time. He looked older, grayer, but still commanded the room like the executive he'd become. Catherine was refilling her wine when she saw him. The glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the kitchen tile. Her face went white, actually white, like someone had drained all the blood from it. She muttered something about needing air and disappeared outside. Mom immediately followed her out, leaving me to clean up the glass alone. I found her 20 minutes later in her car, hands shaking. "I'm fine," she insisted. "Your dad just reminds me of someone. Bad memories. I'll be fine tomorrow, I promise." She kept that promise, technically. She showed up to the wedding, did her maid of honor duties, stood next to me as I said my vows. But she was different, mechanical. She held my bouquet, fixed my train, smiled for photos, but she wouldn't look at my father, not once. During the father-daughter dance, she left the reception hall entirely. The next morning, she was gone. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. That was 2 weeks ago. She blocked my number, my social media, everything. Our mutual friends kept making excuses. She needs space. She's dealing with something. Just give her time. Even my mom seemed unsurprised. Catherine's always been sensitive. This is probably for the best. For the best? My best friend of 15 years disappears and that's for the best? I tried everything. Drove to her apartment 3 times, no answer. Called her work. She was suddenly in meetings constantly. I even went to her gym where we used to work out together. The front desk said she'd canceled her membership. Her mom wouldn't return my calls. Something was wrong. This wasn't about bad memories or someone my dad reminded her of. Everyone knew something. I could feel it in the way they changed the subject when I brought up Catherine, the way my mom redirected every conversation, the way my sister would start to say something then stop herself. This morning I couldn't take it anymore. I drove to my parents' house to go through the wedding photos, hoping to find some clue in Catherine's expressions, anything that explained this. Mom's car was in the driveway but the house seemed empty. I used my key and walked in quietly, not wanting another deflection or excuse. That's when I heard her voice from the kitchen, sharp and stressed. A phone call. I knew bringing him back was a bad idea. Poor Catherine didn't deserve to see him again. My stomach dropped. Of course she recognized him. She was 8 years old, not 4. Kids don't forget faces like that, especially after what happened. I stepped into the doorway. Mom turned and saw me. The phone slipped from her hand. We stared at each other for what felt like hours. "How long have you been standing there?" "Long enough." My voice was shaking. "What happened when Catherine was 8? Tell me the truth." Mom's hands shook as she picked up the phone. There's no easy way to say this. "Mom, what did he do? What men like him do to little girls when no one's watching?" The words came out flat, like she'd rehearsed them. "In his car after practice. In the equipment room. For 6 months?" My stomach lurched. Catherine wasn't the only one. There were 5 girls total. Catherine was the youngest. I thought about Catherine's face at the rehearsal. That wasn't recognition, it was terror. Mom's confession continued, each detail worse than the last. His company knew. They transferred him to Switzerland to avoid prosecution. Gave each family $500,000 to stay quiet. I found out during the divorce. Took $2 million myself to keep you from knowing what he was. Why didn't Catherine tell me? 15 years of friendship and she couldn't. The NDAs were ironclad. If she tells anyone her family has to return the money plus damages, it could destroy them financially. Mom's voice cracked. That poor girl has been carrying this secret. I needed to do something. This wasn't fair. I drove to Catherine's apartment. She opened the door and we collapsed into each other, sobbing. Mom and I testified against him. Dad was arrested and got 20 years.